I just always considered myself a country printer. That's where my roots came from. I'm not a fine art printer. I try to do my best work all the time, but I'm not so fussy and finesse that obsess over things too much. Well, my full name is Robert Douglas Giles. What I do is printing, and I do the old-fashioned kind of printing called letterpress printing. My association with printing goes back quite a ways because I'm a third-generation printer. My grandfather was a printer and my dad was a printer, and so I followed in the family footsteps.
Made Dad so proud that it was carrying on to a third generation, and he was always real helpful and wanted to see Bob succeed, and was happy that he was going to be leaving him some clients behind, and he was the nicest man you can ever imagine, which is why Bob's so nice.
Dad passed away in 2004, which was only a year after I set this up. That was sad for me because I'd really looked forward to working more, one-on-one with him, but I never really got that opportunity. But he was very proud of what I had accomplished, and died happy, I think.
He just loves it out here. I don't know what he would do if he didn't have the print shop. This is his life. His dad lived to be 89 years old and was still printing up within 6 weeks of when he passed away. And it's what kept him alive that whole time, I swear. Probably the same case with Bob. He comes from a long lifeline of people, so it should be around for a while.
A lot of the equipment that I have in the shop is from Dad's shop. I have most of the ancillary equipment that would be there in a typical shop in the 50s or 60s and before even. I have 3 printing presses, actually 4 counting a proof press. I have Baby Bear, Mama Bear, and Papa Bear. Basically the same press in different sizes. And then I have the Linotype machine that I use for typesetting. I also have a machine called the Ludlow, which is a machine to make larger display sizes. This Linotype machine over here is one of maybe 3 that are operating in the state of Oregon. And there may be less than 100 in the country. And they're held by mostly people like me who just are diehards and won't let things go and love it and like the sound of it and the feel of it. So to see something like the Linotype machine that's got 3,000 parts in it, and everything in it is mechanically done, and the only thing that's electric on it is the motor that drives it. It's driven by a belt, cams, gears, levers. It's just so different than most people are aware of nowadays because it has its roots so far in the past. What's really sad to me is to see all the things that have been scrapped, like the Linotype machine is operated and creates its type from little brass pieces of metal, and those little brass pieces of metal are worth $2.50 a pound now. So many of the mats for the Linotype machines, which aren't being manufactured or made anymore, are being sold to the scrap dealer and melted down, and that's sad. But on the other hand, like I said, if there's only 100 Linotypes in the United States, then there's not that much need for it anymore. I can understand why people would do that, but I would never do that. When I first started this shop in 2004, I had several printers in town that were giving me work numbering and perfing and that sort of thing. And that's one of the things that pretty much is still done letterpress. And I worked pretty steady at that, like I said, for 4 or 5 years. Pretty much every day I was here in the shop. In the last couple of years, I've tried to kind of slow that workload down and just concentrate on doing things that are fun and things that I enjoy.
He's out here at least a couple hours a day. And if he's got a client's job that he's working on, sometimes he'll be out here all day, except for lunch. So And that's fine. I know where he is.
The most interesting thing that I enjoyed in my own print shop here is my association in this group called the APA. It's the Amalgamated Printers Association. What we do is we print something every month, and that can be just anything we want. It's just a way of sharing our craft with each other and showcasing the kind of work we can do. And I have a wall behind me of stuff that I have contributed to the APA. I just enjoy those little witticisms and comments that people make, and some of it's serious, some of it's fun and whimsical. I just find it very fun. It's fun for me. This whole thing used to be just my job. I would just get up in the morning and go to the work and do this as a job, and that wasn't as much fun as it is here in my own shop, doing it. Things I want to do on my own terms and on my own time and that sort of thing.
He just knows it inside out, and he was so tickled when he was able to retire and get his own shop and go back to printing the original way. And people ask what kind of a print shop it is. I say, just think Gutenberg. He can come out here and polish type and be happy. And he likes creating his own work and being able to express that in the hot metal printing. He just took Desiderata, the poem, and printed it and added some artwork to it and printed it out in poster size. And he just really gets a kick out of doing that and shares it with the kids. And so he likes doing other people's work, but he'd much rather be doing his own, which isn't work, it's pleasure.
I think I have quite a few typefaces, but if you compare that to my computer over here that has 2,000 typefaces, no, I don't have very many. I have a pretty good range of a Baskerville type on the Linotype and in the handset cases. And I have probably 50 or 60 different typefaces available to me in various sizes. But it's not like on the computer where you can choose a typeface and then make it any size you want to, because we're working here with actual physical pieces of metal that are a certain size. And so you have to pick a size, and if that doesn't fit, then you have to find another size. And if that doesn't fit, then you maybe have to choose another typeface. So that's one of the challenges of doing this kind of work.
He loves this stuff. He just loves it. It's his passion.
My favorite part is just the challenge, sort of putting ideas, on paper, putting and the physical part of putting things together. Actually, how do you cut? How do you put a border on a page? How do you space it out? Saving this equipment is pretty important to me, because at this point in time, there's no practical use for any of this stuff other than just the minor stuff that I do.
Some of the things that are 100 years old, they're going to break down. So, he spends some time fixing things. And there's one man in the United States that comes around if you make a year appointment with him in advance, he'll come around and fix a machine that you're unable to fix yourself. So I don't know what we'll do when he retires.
Printing was a major thing in our lives. And this kind of printing, letterpress printing, started with Gutenberg and went on until 1970. So for almost 500 years, this was the method used to print and to bring humanity and mankind along. I have a little tagline on my business card that says 20th century printing. That's what I do. And not that I'm not part of the 21st century, but my working career and my roots go back to the 20th century. And I just feel comfortable in my shop. I suppose mostly just because I'm familiar with it and know more than other people do about it. My dad's business was BJ Printing, and his name was Bob and his wife was Jerry. So when I named mine, I did the same thing. I was going to go BS. And my wife said no, because BS printing doesn't sound that great. So I changed it to B and S, and then I decided, well, I'll just use the little N. So it's BNS, but it's Bob and Sharon.
It confuses some people because it's like B and the S, with the little N in the middle. But everybody reads it, figures it out. I always say I'm the S, and I'm Sharon, the S.
My wife is my proofreader, and she's saved me a lot of times with her proofreading because she's very good at that.
He's not real wild about finding errors in his work, but he's very happy that he finds them before they get to the customer. So he doesn't mind having the proofreading done and requests it. So yeah, it works out really well. Keeps me knowing what he's doing out here, instead of it just being foreign to me. We do have one instruction, and we can never move because all of this equipment weighs literally tons. So once it's in here, it's staying. So it's a good thing I'm happy with the house. Unfortunately, none of our children have shown an interest in taking over the print shop. But we have several grandchildren that are young right now, but they're really interested. So it'll be interesting to see whether they continue that as they get older or whether they take on other interests at that time. I want somebody to have the shop that will use it the way Bob has. And, either for their own pleasure or for an income. This has been a really nice side income for us. We're retired on Social Security and it's very small. There aren't pensions anymore, so we have very small pensions. And so the extra money that comes in every month from the print shop is kind of handy. It allows us to do some things we wouldn't get to do otherwise.
Cast. Drops out of the machine here, and then you have the line that you're going to print from. It's more than just a place to come and do some work. It has, I'm surrounded by history here, and it stops. I have to stop and think every once in a while, and be thankful for what I've got here because, like I said, most people haven't seen this, and it's dying and going away real quickly, and I'm just proud to have it.